All right, so we looked at Rogue Fitness. We looked at Rep Fitness. In part 3, we're taking a look at Titan Fitness. Will they be able to offer something unique, different, or even more affordable than the other options we've looked at so far? Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so Titan Fitness has been around for a long time. Used to be known more for just cloning other brands, although they do have a lot of their own stuff, and they have been coming out with their own products, which are a little bit unique. Not always the case necessarily, but let's take a look at them because they're viewed as a more value brand. So for our $1,500, can we get more? Let's go ahead and start with racks first. All right, so as mentioned, Titan has been known to clone other brands in the past. That being said, they offer a lot of similar stuff to other brands, including things that are 2x3, like their T3 series power rack, things that are 3x3 with 5/8 inch equivalent hardware, which is their X3 series, as well as 3x3 1-inch hardware, which is their Titan series. But one of the things that might catch your eye, or at least it should if you've watched the other videos in the series, their T2 series power rack is very similar to what Rep offers in this brand. In fact, this design can be found across multiple brands, which is why we're going to be looking at it in this case. However, we're also going to want to increase the height to 83 inches, which is also going to increase the price and everything else slightly. You do get a little bit of color options in this rack, but otherwise very similar to what we chose from the Rep rack, and we'll be choosing it from Titan as well. All right, so where in the previous video for the Rep Fitness benches I mentioned, Rep is known for their benches, especially their budget-friendly options. A lot of people have liked them, including myself. I've owned several. On the other hand, Titan is not known for their benches. In fact, if anything, they're notoriously known for their benches being not that great. So that's going to really weigh on my decision here, and weigh is a great analogy because we're talking about weight benches, but things like their adjustable bench, which seems like a good buy at $230. I have not heard good things about this particular product, which leaves us looking at the Elite Series single post flat bench for $184.97, or their Titan Series single post flat bench for $250. Now the design on these are very similar. The most noticeable difference is the actual pad that you get. However, going to this bigger fat pad, if you will, in my opinion, is not worth the $70 upgrade when we're thinking of budget friendly and economical. I don't see the return being there. So in this case, we're going to actually add in the Elite Series single post flat bench, as I think this is our best viable option, and it's really hard to mess up a flat bench. All right, for Titan barbells, I've filtered it to only their Olympic bars, as they do offer a wide range of barbells. And in this case, most of them are general use, so they're more of your standard multi-use case barbell. They do have some interesting power bar options, which I've heard really good things about, like their limited edition Poseidon Power Bar, which has a white Cerakote shaft and blue sleeves, so right up my alley. $400, which is expensive and probably out of our price range and out of stock anyways. So what I think is going to make the most sense for us is if we scroll back up, there is an Elite Series Power Barbell here. I'm going to click on it. It is a chrome shaft with chrome sleeves. Chrome to me typically dulls the feel of the knurling a little bit, but it is rated at 2,000 pounds. And I think since we're trying to stick with Titan, we're trying to stick economical, it is our best choice for barbells. All right, so when it comes to iron plates, again, trying to stay in line with what we've done already, be cost efficient. Titan only really offers one kind of plate when I go to cast iron. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these. And just like before, what we're going to want to do is try to get as close of a set as possible. And they do have a 245-pound set, and it is in stock. We're going to go ahead and add that to the cart, as that's going to give us a very similar weight capacity that we've gotten from both Rogue and Rep already. So I can't get a good view of the Titan cart here, but let me just run through what we got. Again, we have a power barbell, we have 245 pounds of iron plates, we do have a flat bench, and we do have a T2 series power rack, which is enclosed, comes with, actual storage, and it does come with safeties, all for a grand total of $1,434.90. We'll round that up to $1,435. So a little bit more expensive than the Rogue and about $40 less than what Rep is offering. And we're going to add that into our overall viewpoint. All right, so there you go, wrapped up with Titan at $1,435 in comparison. Rogue was $1,427, Rep was $1,472, but for all you eagle eyes out there in the bottom right-hand corner, you might see that get 10% off idea with Titan, and it's the only one of these three providers that consistently offer coupon codes. So in theory, we could actually get this for 10% off, which might make it more appealing to you. But what I want to know is, what do you think about the choices we made through Titan? What would you potentially change? to stay within that $1,500 budget. And join us for part 4, where we compare all 3 and I talk about what I like and dislike about each one.